What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about how I landed my first UX design job 2 months coming out of a UX bootcamp program. By the way, my name is Wesley Hong and I have been a UX designer for 2 years now. I attended Designation, which was a 6-month bootcamp program located in Chicago. I began the program back in October 2017 and then I finished in May 2018. So this video is mostly going to apply and be relatable to all those who just recently graduated from a UX bootcamp program. So to those who just recently graduated from the program, first of all, congratulations guys. You guys took a gamble on a program not knowing exactly what to expect, spent probably a good amount of money on the program itself, and you did a lot of hard work through your 3 to 6 month intensive program. So now that you're finished with the program, you're faced with another stressful challenge, which is to basically find your first UX job out there. And along the way, I'll also share some tips, some feedback, insights, which might help you guys in your guys' journey to land your first job as well. I'm going to break down my personal experience into 3 specific talking points. Number 1, preparing my resume and portfolio. Number 2, applying for the job positions out there. And number 3, going through the interview process. So let's begin. You'll need to spend a good amount of time updating your resume and then also building out your portfolio website. Now, most bootcamp graduates will finish their program without having their resume and portfolio ready, and that's perfectly fine. It will usually take a person about 1 to 3 months to have their portfolio and resume ready in order for other people to see. It's easy to finish your bootcamp program thinking that you're finished and done and finally you can take a break, but it's so important to keep your motivations high. Remember, finishing a bootcamp program doesn't mean you're done, and also doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a UX design job right after the program. There's still a lot of work to do, so make sure that you keep pushing forward and do what you can all the way up until you've landed your first job. For me, it took me a little less than 2 months to have my resume, my portfolio, and 1 case study done. Again, take your time. Make sure that you have something that you feel 100% comfortable sharing with your job recruiters. With UX design specifically, it's so important to have a portfolio website so that way people can take a look at your work through your case study specifically. So on a usual portfolio, you'll have your resume, a bio, and your case study on there for people to see. Now there are 2 options for having your own portfolio website. You can either build it and code it yourself if you have the coding experience, or you can use a website template provided by a website building platform. If you have the extra time and the coding experience, then by all means, go ahead and build out your own website. Since I didn't have any coding experience and I didn't want to waste too much time building out the website, I decided to go with Squarespace, which is a very popular website building platform that has a lot of beautiful templates you can use, and it's also very easy to use as well. So after I finished my bootcamp program, I came out of the program with 2 client experiences. So basically I had 2 case studies that I could have ready for my portfolio. Now the best case scenario is probably to have 2 case studies ready. But for myself, I decided to go ahead and apply to jobs with just 1 case study. Just make sure you're able to really showcase your work, your design process, and your storytelling as well. Those are all very important things to remember when you create your case study. Alright, so resumes. I would say that it's very important that you describe your mock project or client project on your resume in a very descriptive way. It's easy enough to say that you attended an intensive bootcamp program, so spend most of the copy and the verbiage talking more so about the client experience that you went through. Some of the things that I described on my resume was what bootcamp program I attended and how long the program was, what clients I got to work for, what problems I was tasked to solve by my client, and what product I ended up designing, a desktop or mobile app. So now that my resume and portfolio was ready and finished, it was time for me to start actually applying to different jobs out there. So as most of you guys have noticed during your job search, it's really hard to find entry-level UX design positions. I know guys, I feel your pain. It can be super annoying and it can be very discouraging as your job search continues. I remember applying to at least 50 different job positions all across the United States that were labeled as entry-level. It's even harder and difficult if you're not open to relocation. You narrow down your search if you want to stay in your home city, or even if you're narrowing it down to a couple different cities that you're looking to go to. For me personally, it was a matter of beggars can't be choosers. Especially when you're a beginner and a whole different field and career, you really can't pick and choose where you really want to go. So I basically applied to almost every single city out there that had a UX position open. But sooner or later, I even got tired of applying to different positions all across LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, and I decided I had to think of a new way to be more successful in my job search. Then I remember something that I learned during my career phase during my UX bootcamp program. One of our instructors mentioned informational interviews and how that can be helpful in your job search. An informational interview is an interview to learn about the real life experience of someone working in a specific field or working at a specific company. For example, if I wanted to become a UX designer at Google, I would probably interview someone who's currently working at Google and is a UX designer there. Or you can even interview someone who used to work there as well. So I'm actually gonna do a separate video on informational interviews, talking a little bit more about that in details, but also giving you guys more tips and feedback on how to navigate that. So I decided to give the informational interview route a try. During my job search, I saw a company that I was really interested in and saw that they had an entry-level UX position open. Now, I did not apply to that position right away. Now, LinkedIn can be super helpful in this specific scenario. All I needed to do was search for the company name and UX design. And through that search, I was able to find one specific UX designer who used to work for that company previously. I'm gonna give her the name Katie just for privacy reasons. After I found her profile, I messaged Katie both on her LinkedIn and also on her portfolio email. In my message, I wrote something like this. Hi, my name is Wesley Hong and I am a new UX designer coming out of a UX bootcamp program. I saw that you used to work for this company and I am looking to apply there as well. If you have some time, I was hoping to see if I could pick your brain about your experiences working at that company, maybe through a video call or a phone call. Please let me know and thank you very much. Honestly, I wasn't too sure if I was gonna get a response back, especially from someone who I've never really met. We don't have any mutual connections. And I wasn't too sure if she would be receptive to the idea of doing an informational interview. Now, if you guys are going to do your own informational interviews, expect some no responses. So a couple days after I sent that message out to Katie, I surprisingly got a response back from her. She responded back to me, letting me know that she would gladly talk. So from there, we basically scheduled a time and a date. So we did a 30-minute video call, and on that call, I got to talk to her about her experience working as a UX designer, and also talk to her about her experience working for her former company. After all the questions that I had for her, I briefly again just mentioned at the end that I was looking to apply to that same company she used to work for. At the end of the interview, she mentioned that if I was really interested in applying for that position in that company, she would actually connect and refer me to one of the UX directors that are currently working at that company now. And after having that conversation with Katie, then I decided to apply to that open position. Now, this is where the interview process starts. Usually, a first interview will consist of a screening interview with HR just to see if you're an initial fit for the position that's available. But my first interview ended up being with the UX director instead of with HR. For privacy reasons again, let's give the UX director the name of Daisy. So Katie ended up reaching out to Daisy, letting her know that I was interested in a position that was open, and she also sent her my resume and portfolio. Assuming that my resume and my portfolio all looked good, Daisy then reached out to me for my screening interview. Now on that call, Daisy basically just had a lot of questions regarding my background, why I decided to become a UX designer recently, and why I wanted to work for that specific company. Also on the same call, Daisy gave me a whole bunch of information and details regarding about the company, what it would be like there working as a UX designer, what the technology department and the UX team looks like, and also what I should expect if I were to work at that company. After having a great conversation, Daisy told me that they would look through my resume and my portfolio with other designers one more time before they decide to actually move me to the second process of the interview. So after waiting about a week, I was emailed by an HR from the company letting me know that I was moved forward to the second part of the interview process. Now, surprisingly, the second interview was actually going to be an in-person interview. On the email, I was informed that the second interview would consist of an office tour, a couple more interviews, and also a design challenge. Now, what was amazing about this interview was that I was going to get flown out to the company headquarters for free. The company was going to pay for my flight, and they were also going to give me rides to and from the airport as well. So on the day of my interview, I got to the company headquarters. The first thing that happened was an office tour. I got to check out the different workspaces within all the different departments, got to check out the gym, the cafeteria, which was all very cool to see. And after the office tour, it was time for the design challenge. So the goal would be to show your entire design process through the design challenge, but sometimes it's very hard to fit all that specifically within an hour or 50 minutes. If you feel like you won't be able to showcase your entire design process, make sure that you're just thorough and detailed with everything else. Make sure that you speak out loud, make sure to utilize the designers there for role playing, and then also use the whiteboards and the materials around you just to show your entire design process throughout the time. After the design challenge, I was given one more set of interviews, specifically with the VP of technology and then also a software engineer. And after that, my entire in-person interview was done and complete. I flew back home, and all I had to do now was just wait for that phone call to let me know if I either got the position or I got rejected from it. And a week later, I got a call from the HR letting me know that I received the position, and the rest is history. So that's how I landed my first UX design job coming out of a UX bootcamp program. Just a reminder that there is no certain timetable for when you're supposed to land your first UX job right after your bootcamp program ends. For some of my other cohort members, it took them about a week, a month, 2, 6 months, or even a year for them to land their first design position. Well, I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it was informational and helpful for you guys. I'm hoping to do more UX content on my YouTube channel pretty soon. If you guys have any specific questions or a specific topic you want me to cover, please let me know in the comment sections below. If you want a quicker reply, you can always reach out to me on my Instagram with your questions as well. Please share this video with other people who might be interested, like the video, and also subscribe to my channel to see more similar contents like this. So until the next video, peace out guys. See ya.